Hi everyone, XephThePanda here, and welcome to my 1-year anniversary! Today I'm going to be going over 3 of my flashback episodes, so let's get started!
You see, the original Super Mario Bros.
Oh man, I sound different.
Video game that was released for the Famicom on September 13th, 1985, and it was
for the people who haven't checked the description, the only reason I used Super Mario Crossover, or whatever this version was called, it was due to the fact that I couldn't find a normal toadstool. I should have re-recorded that line at one point. But yeah, the reason why I used this level, or this game, was mainly due to the fact that, well, I couldn't find a good normal emulator of the actual game, so I had to settle on this. Yeah, 40.23 million. Got a problem? But Wii Sports, how does Wii Sports... Right, the game comes with the Wii, so that makes sense.
The game was largely responsible for the initial success of the Nintendo Entertainment System and revival of the gaming industry after the 1983 video game crash. Now,
and that's actually relatively interesting when you think about it. I mean, the game is somewhat basic compared to what our modern gaming has in standards, but this was definitely a step up from the older games. So, yeah.
So practically, when you're playing the game as Mario, you're practically hitting all the other citizens. Oh well.
Oh yeah, I remember making that. And the funny thing is, I actually recorded the audio first. That's usually how I do my flashback episodes. Well, I record my audio, then I record the game footage. So, yeah.
The player takes the role in Mario if you're playing a one-player game, and if you are playing a game with 2 players, of course, the first player still plays as Mario, and the second player, on the other hand, plays as his brother, Luigi. Now,
okay, I could have delivered that better, I admit.
Is divided into 8 worlds, each of which containing 4 levels. We all know how the levels end by this point. At the end of each level, no matter where you are, you pretty much have to jump on the flag.
Yeah, depending on certain levels, like bonus levels, it changes up. I was just talking about the game in general. Yeah, and it's also addictive.
But I've always had a lot of fun playing.
Oh, mushroom went down.
It's cool finding out where the next warp zones were located, though. As much as I love this game, it also has a few flaws with it as well. For my cartridge, for example, my game would freeze occasionally as I was playing, but I think that was due to the age of it. Seeing as
age will age your cartridges, man.
Also, if you play this game a bit too often and you die a lot, you can make the argument that it's a bit repetitive, seeing as you don't really have much checkpoints, once you lose all your lives. So...
I probably could have recorded that, or re-recorded that. It just...
Yeah, a bit repetitive.
It sounds a little too raw.
So, seeing as even though the levels do change a bit with each world, you still have to jump on Koopas and Goombas, but at least
non-bonus levels past me.
Change as well, but my gripes are nothing too big. I will always have a soft spot for this game. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Okay, despite me having enthusiasm in that episode, I kind of sounded like I was insecure. I guess I was. On to the second episode, and this is the first episode where I used an intro. Not the best, but it got the job done within that episode.
Today I'll be looking back on the original Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Oh, I should have used a different color for the text. It's a lit. Yeah, it was a little too, clashing with the water.
The game's original programmer was former Sonic team leader and series creator Yuji Naka, and the planner was Hirokazu Yasuhara. The gameplay was
Okay, seeing as I don't speak Japanese that much, I mean, I speak small parts of it, but not much. Mentioning those names or actually trying to pronounce them like they're actually supposed to be pronounced is a little difficult.
Nevertheless, a separate 8-bit version, which focused more on exploration than speed, was later released for said system. Now, here's the basic story of this
Oh,
game.
by the way, oh, that was kind of unfair there, but as you can see, I don't know what's going on there, but throughout, yeah, we didn't need a picture, but yeah, in this playthrough, I kind of had a little difficulty getting into the game within, you know, the recording at the beginning, but as I kept playing, I kind of got better, so, yeah. Oh my goodness. Horrible joke. I should have built up momentum. Yeah, that shows how out of touch with the game I was at the time of this recording. I should have just run there. Or go a little further and then run.
For collecting items along the way. Essential to the gameplay are the golden rings the player collects.
By the way, I will admit the editing for these sort of episodes is relatively basic. So, it took me like about a day in order to put together these two episodes. This one was December 7th, 2014, and the previous episode was, you know, 1 year ago today. So, yeah, about a week apart, and I pretty much put them together within one day. So, you know, each. So, they're not too difficult to make.
They will gain an extra life and will gain an additional life for every 100 rings.
I don't know what that flash is.
If the player has at least 50 rings at the end of an act, a giant
By the way,
ring will
I
go above the
kind of
finishing
have
zone,
to
which
use
will be
online
jumped
emulators,
special
kind of due to the fact that I don't have capture cards, so I can't, you know, capture games from my TV. So that's kind of why I do a lot of, you know, PC stuff on my channel. Or there are times where I, you know, of course have to play stuff that are usually for consoles on flashback.
Now, here's my opinion on the game. Well, I gotta say that the speed really does benefit to the game. I mean,
And
it
that
lets you
is
level
relatively
fast
true in
for
my
ya,
opinion.
and it just really helps you out. However, it does lack one thing like Mario. It lacks the option of having a save file. I mean, it's nothing too big, but
Yeah, that could have made it a
that's
bit
something
better.
That would have been real nice back then. Now, let me note this difference. The timer in the corner is a bit different from Mario. In Mario, it doesn't really count how much you've been playing for. You only have an allotted amount of time in Mario. In
Yeah,
Sonic the
that's
Hedgehog,
also
however,
relatively
I think
interesting.
You have almost all the time you need. So that is a bit more interesting to go for.
But if I'm not mistaken, the lower
This is
time
not
you get,
about which
the
game
higher
prefer.
grade you get?
For me, this game
I
is a
could
different
be
thing. It's
wrong,
really
seeing as I
nostalgic.
haven't played the
So
actual
that
Sonic
really
game
benefits
in
it
a
as well,
long
and it
time.
takes away my,
But,
gripe
yeah.
about not having a save file. Until
Ah,
next time,
and I
will see
ended
you
this
guys
video off
later.
with
Bye.
a game over. How appropriate. Oh, and my first outro. Oh, it's horrendous. Yeah, I've come a long way. Now it's time for episode 3. Same intro.
Welcome back to Flashback,
Oh, and that
everyone. I'm
avatar,
Let's
for
take a
people
look
who
at some
don't know,
classic games, shall we?
was actually
As you
designed
can
by
see by the
Marine,
title
or
of the game I'm
Aquastar
going over
Marine.
today is The Legend of
So,
Zelda.
yeah.
First off, here's a bit of history on
The
game.
old man there,
The Legend of Zelda
we have
was
an
the very
inside
first
joke
Zelda
on the
game
Game Over
released.
Games channel
Centers
where
its plot around the
Link
boy
pretty
named
much
Link who
murders
becomes
that
central
old man,
protagonist throughout the
and
series.
he,
It came out
the old man
originally
kind
in
of goes
1986
crazy
for
over
the
being
Famicom
killed.
in Japan, and was later released in Western world, including Europe and the US in 1987. It has since then been re-released several times.
You get
for the
theories
Nintendo
in this
Switch as
game a
well as
lot of the
Game
time
Boy
when you
Advance.
don't need
The
them.
Japanese
Weird.
version of the game on the Famicom is known as the Hyrule Fantasy: The Legend of Zelda. Now, here's a snippet of the basic story from the actual game. During his travels, he had come across Impa and Ganon's
Yeah, I
henchmen.
prefer to use
Impa
the
told
picture
Link
of
the whole
Impa from
story
Ocarina of
Princess
Time.
Zelda and evil Ganon. Burning with a sense of justice, Link resolved to save Zelda, but Ganon was a powerful opponent. He held the Triforce of Power.
I go crazy. Calm down, Xeph.
Sorry about that, everyone.
I kind of had to edit that power thing in Audacity.
Link had to bring the scattered 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom together to rebuild the mythical triangle. If he couldn't do this, there would be no chance Link could fight his way into Death Mountain where Ganon lived. The gameplay.
Here is one of the most interesting glitches. I got the key out of the skeleton without killing him. How?
Something that should be noted about the game is that it gives you the option, and it is also essential to the story.
So, it doesn't take too long for me to get the, info for a typical flashback episode. But when it's something like Back to the Future, the NES version, there was very little information, so that was kind of out of my reach.
Direct word-for-word translations, and odd quotes. The intro stories written poorly, such as saying the Triforce Whip Power instead of the Triforce Whip
Yeah,
Power.
that doesn't make sense.
However, for the Game Boy Advance and Wii Virtual Console ports, the message was entirely rewritten. Now, here's my opinion on this game. I gotta say, this game added something that both Mario and Sonic lacked.
It's save file!
Function.
Yay!
I think that's a great function, and that was a step in the right direction for video games, seeing as some people may be on a level of Mario or Sonic, and if you have to leave or go somewhere, the only way to keep your progress is to keep your NES or Mega Drive on with your game pause. So
And that was pretty inconvenient.
Also, the puzzles are pretty fun to figure out, even if they're not that obvious. It's fairly interesting knowing that Miyamoto's idea for this game was inspired by the Kyoto countryside. So to be honest, I feel like this game is where Nintendo was starting to grow at. Of course, some parts of the game are difficult, but the thing about video games is that there is supposed to be a challenge.
And that's true.
And the challenge that the game provides may not be easy, but it certainly is fun.
Well, past me, there's one thing I'd like to say.
Next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.
That
I hope you
outro.
all enjoyed this video. If you did, leaving a comment and a like would be appreciated, as well as a subscription if you're feeling generous. And maybe follow me on Twitter if you like.
But anyway, as I was saying, you see, the only time a challenge should be, lightened up on is when things get a little too out of control, that even the beta testers can't beat it. Unless the point of the game is to make it extremely difficult to the point where it seems impossible. But, oh well. So, yeah, this has kind of been my look back on my flashback episodes. Well, the first 3 anyway. There's more to come. And yeah, when I have more of the time, I intend on getting them out. So, yeah, I'm XephThePanda, and I will see you guys later. Bye, everyone.